I'm Craig from Craig's Cookies, and we're here at Tyrone on Adelaide. It's one of my favorite spots in Toronto to grab some lunch or a really nice dinner with friends. It's huge here, but it always feels like you're in this intimate, awesome, lovely spot in the city. In 2013, I moved back to Toronto from Niagara-on-the-Lake after spending 4 years at the Shaw Festival acting. I was working at a restaurant. They fired everybody, so I decided to start a cookie company. I was selling cookies on Facebook and Instagram. I would hop on my bike and bike around town. I sold 200 dozen cookies in like a month to all my friends. Instagram at the time was relatively new, so I thought, you know, what a great tool, a free tool, to be able to let everyone know that I have these chocolate chip cookies. Then I went away and did a play for 6 months, came back, decided to sell some more cookies. Did that for like 5 years. I'd sell cookies anywhere from flea markets to literally this side of the road. And then in 2018, I opened my first location in Parkdale. I love the neighborhood of Parkdale, and that was supposed to be it. And then when we opened our second location in the Village, I wanted to give back to the community, the queer community that I'm a part of, and really foster that community in the Village on Church Street. It's been such a welcome vibe there, and I feel really proud to have a shop in that space. It was supposed to be just me and one friend of mine for 2 years, and then it was supposed to be done. And now we have 5 locations all across Toronto, one in St. John's, and we're franchising. So hopefully there's going to be Craig's Cookies all across the country. In 2014, when I was baking cookies at home in Parkdale by myself at 2 in the morning, exhausted, I thought there has to be a means to an end here. And for some reason, I felt like this was a really great opportunity to be able to potentially in the future give back to the arts. So in August of 2022, it got to the point where the cookie shop was able to then afford to be able to give some of the profit back into that arts group, which is a non-for-profit arts organization. That arts group has an umbrella, is an umbrella of that theater company and that choir. There's also a youth and educational initiative that we're starting next year that's going to focus on how to support trans youth through the arts, with their bodies, with their voices, using choral music and theater to be able to support young people in that way. When I first started Craig's Cookies, the work-life balance wasn't a thing that I even respected for myself. When you're an entrepreneur and when you're getting anything off the ground, there's a lot of work that's needed. And one of the biggest things I learned in starting a company, whether it be Craig's Cookies or that arts group, is how to surround yourself with people that are excellent at what they do, to support you through decision making, but also to make sure that your plate doesn't overflow and you go into burnout. That still happens sometimes. What I have found really important is to be able to find things that I enjoy, like coming to Tyrone for lunch or dinner. Have those moments in your day where it's just for you. Sometimes I think as an entrepreneur, we feel like we can't carve time for ourselves. But what I have learned is in carving time to go to CrossFit, spending time with friends, having dinner, as long as you're really efficient with your workload during the day, that inspires you and gives you energy to continue working. Work-life balance is so important, but it's also really challenging as well. I think being an artist and being an entrepreneur, both are feeding each other really beautifully. We all have so many different facets, things that we're good at in our lives. And sometimes we micromanage those positive attributes of ourselves and say that this thing that I'm good at over here should just stay over here and be implemented into another part of our lives. The more we actually use everything that we have in us all the time, I think the more successful we're going to be in anything. My work in the arts and the vulnerability and the acceptance that I had to figure out for myself to be a better actor has given me the opportunity in business to really be myself as well, and to be proud of who I am, and to have the brand of Craig's Cookies be a reflection of my core values, and to be confident with that. Sometimes in business I feel like the end game is the most important thing. Some entrepreneurs that I've met lose their way as far as who they are in pursuit of success. I really do believe that everything that I've learned in business and in the arts are intertwined. A lot more than I had thought they would be. I think if you're an artist and you want to be an entrepreneur, trust yourself, trust that instinct, go for it, be bold, be risky, be smart, educate yourself, but not to the point that it's going to paralyze you from action. When I started Craig's Cookies, I was pretty ignorant to business. I've never made a business plan, which is probably not a great thing. That being said, had I actually made a business plan, I don't know if I would have started Craig's Cookies, because I would have been terrified by the fact that I needed $100,000 to open a store. Whereas what I did was I just put $4,000 on a lease and then had no more money, and then realized that I needed to come up with $96,000 more to be able to open a cookie shop. So sometimes necessity breeds creativity, but it is not for the faint of heart, for sure. Your identity as an artist doesn't necessarily encapsulate 100% of who you are. I feel like myself as an actor, I spent so long assuming that if I didn't have a successful acting career and wasn't acting 52 weeks of the year, that I wasn't good at what I did. Or if I wanted to do something different, then that made me a failure as an artist. And it's quite the opposite. Owning a cookie shop, getting out there, taking risks, failing, learning from those failures has made me a better artist. I think listening, giving people the opportunity to share when they want to, having really clear expectations of what I want from them or need from them, respecting what they have to offer to a project, whether or not that's at the cookie shop or in the choir, having a really clear goal in mind, being really clear with objectives so that everyone can be on the same page. When people don't feel like they're on the same page, learn how to be fluid with that. I've kind of switched the word pivot in my head because I'm over that word, being a business owner since the pandemic, and I'm trying to switch my thinking of it of just being fluid, of being fine with if the river kind of turns this way and then if it goes back. But ultimately, I think it's just like respecting people, respecting people's creativity, offering them space so that they feel that they are heard when they want to share.